it up. It's the Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Hall.
Came from the sea, they dropped the tea. One off on the Mayflower. They came from the sea, and they dropped the tea. One off on the Mayflower.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
In Beantown, try to avoid the beatdown. One off on the Mayflower.
Living amongst kings, living without castles. The Spanish magic, Italian, Italian flow, so diverse. You go from 0 to 60 in a second before you try to hit it in reverse. Cause you never know when you're in Beantown.
Got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we
came from the sea, they dropped the tea.
Now it's brown, dirt.
They came from the sea, they tossed the tea.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
You're in Beantown, try to avoid the beatdown. Yeah.
I ain't got no other way, but you know that I'm gonna see the day. I'm up in the straight. Hey. Stack the money up every time. We gon' grind.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
Everybody got me in my vibe, but I know I gotta get it this time. I gotta go grind. Yeah, I gotta go grind.
Came from the sea and then we tossed that tea.
Wait a minute. That vibe.
Came from the sea and that tea got tossed. Yeah, that's where we're from, doggone it. Shout out to West Memphis.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
East Dorchester, the Berry. Roll through them hoods and do it in a hurry. Charlestown, North End, JP and Mattapan. That's where we play. Catch us if you can. Come on.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
Yeah.
One time. 3 times.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
Yeah.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the
Some of
sea,
the
we got the tea. When we came to
I
the sea,
swear to
we got
God.
the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
Drop the tea. Drop the tea.
When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
You ain't heard us, so we might hurt us.
Let it drop.
If we get ready to Bossy, what you gonna do?
We got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea. When we came to the sea, we got the tea.
They came from the sea and then they tossed that tea.
Go.
Wherever we were here, all we tried to do was get free.
For your mind. 2 times. For the grind.
You know,
3 times.
fight for that shit.
What?
Come on! Eastie, Dorchester, and the Berry. Yeah, roll through the hood and do it in a hurry. Charlestown, North End, JP, and Mattapan. That's where we play Catch Us If You Can. Come on, Carnival Downtown, Beantown.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome funk and R&B recording artist Bili Sparrow. How you doing, Billy?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from today?
I'm in New Mexico.
Oh, wow. Nice. You live there?
Yes, I've been here for like 2 years.
Wow. Where are you originally from?
West Medford, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. What made you move to New Mexico?
Well, when all that COVID and stuff started and was going on, it was like really hard. People were acting all crazy and stuff, telling you, oh, well, you can't stay here if you're staying there. If you're going there, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I got on a plane and came out here. I mean, it was just as bad as out here as it was there, but I kind of got my shit a little bit together. I didn't have to run back and forth and go here and there what I was doing.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, so it was a little bit easier for me.
Yeah. How's the weather there?
The weather's kind of cool. I mean, it was almost the same the past week, but yeah, it gets warmer out here. It'll be warmer in another couple of weeks. I just went through a season called monsoon season out here.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I'm in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, well, how'd you get out of that dilemma you had there a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it wasn't bad for us. I mean, I guess we kind of caught the tail end of the storm. We just got some, heavy rain and some winds and stuff like that. Not much damage in my neighborhood at all.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that because I know in Florida it was a mess.
Yep. Yeah, it sure was. So how's everything going, Billy?
Good, I'm fine. I'm just trying to finalize the last steps to try and release this album. I never really had or released an album. I've been doing singles, since way back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I never really put the albums out. I mean, I guess financial reasons or deals that didn't fall through. And so this time around, I figured, you know what, I got to put this out there because I had like a kind of resurgent. People wanted to see us playing live and stuff, and did a few shows
that's pretty
and
cool.
Everything. So I want to try and get that together so I can get some interest.
Tell me about your musical background. When did you start getting involved in music, and who were some of the bands and artists that you've played with?
Well, when I was like a kid, like in my 12, 13 years old, my mother used to take me around to the clubs and stuff where the people would come that had records out and everything. Down at Bear Beach, they had a club called the Ebb Tide, and all the major, recording artists and stuff would come there. So I used to go to the shows, and I got kind of interested, in the music, the entertainment business, and I was like kind of a big fan of James Brown. I wanted to be James Brown when I was little.
That's cool.
But after that, I just went through transitioning, just growing up around music. And with music, I kind of made that my profession. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, the local bands in my area, some guys were doing holiday ends and stuff like that, big armory shows and things like that. When I started out, I was like kind of like in the band, playing congas and bongos or whatever, singing some of the band songs. And then when the lead singer would come up, I'd just be in the background. So I did that for a couple of years, and I got into it. Well, once I started playing, that's when I really kind of took off. And then I played with, local bands, people around town. In Boston, there was two major bands when we were out like that, played the clubs. It was like our band was Blood, Earth, and Man, which is like an R&B group with two females and a male singer. Mm-hmm. And they were like doing R&B stuff, but when the like the Isley Brothers came out with That Lady and songs that predominantly had like Sly and the Family Stone type sounding guitars and keyboards, that's where we kind of took off and got noticed because we were doing that kind of stuff. Because I was into rock, but I being in an R&B. Jazzy, bluesy, like, neighborhood where everyone was into that. I was into rock and roll, so I kind of understood the other kind of music and things and what was going on, but to have a chance to really play like I really wanted to play kind of got me going in there. Mm-hmm. So.
Who were some of the bands and artists that you've worked with over the years?
I've lived in Los Angeles. So in Los Angeles, when I was living out there, there's Sherelle, the singer. Her sister was our roommate. I was kind of close to her and them. I just missed a gig doing with her at Soul Train because I got to LA too late. Just so happened she was on her way to Washington, D.C. I missed that. I played with the Funkadelics. Me and Bootsy were kind of close, you know what I mean, when they first got with the Funk Parliament Funkadelics. And they started the Mothership thing. I played with them. I played with Ronnie Turner, who was Ike and Tina Turner's real son, the only son that's both of their kids.
Wow.
I was in a band with him. There's another group, a few groups. So I played with some people out in L.A., you know what I mean? Plus, I lived in Detroit, so, I was doing a lot of cover stuff in cover bands and things like that. So after I got my own thing together, it was mainly just doing our own stuff.
Right.
Backing up other people.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, how many instruments do you play? Which ones do you play?
I play the guitar. I'm a keyboard. I could play keyboards, and bass was my major instrument when I started out. My mother bought me a guitar for Christmas, and I was like about 13, 14 years old.
Nice.
And I kept on begging her and bugging her. I wanted a bass. I wanted a bass so bad. And she bought me a brand new guitar. I was so disappointed. I yanked the high strings off and just learned how to play bass on the guitar for a while.
Wow.
But after a couple of years went by, and then the Jimi Hendrix thing, that was it. Once I heard him, was into it, because I basically knew what was going on with the music. When I heard him express himself the way he did, that really, resonated with me at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I had people, comparing me and saying, "Oh, you want to be Bootsy? Oh, you're Bootsy. Oh, you want to sound like Hendrix." It's like, man, this is me. This is what I play. This is how I do it. So it took me a long time to get around them people, because that's all they want to do is compare you to somebody else or something, but they don't really realize what I'm doing and what we've been doing is kind of unique in its own, because it combines all the elements of music. I could be playing one thing in a song, and the next thing it goes into a change that's something totally different. Mm-hmm. And it works for us. So, that's how we do it.
That's pretty cool. Now, I believe every band or artist is influenced by someone. Growing up, who were some of your musical influences?
Well, like I said, I was wicked into James Brown. I loved him. And then just so happened, ironically, Bootsy and his brother was in his band when at the height of their thing. And then as time went on, they were eventually in the Parliament Funkadelics. I liked them. Sly and the Family Stone, I was like really into Sly because Sly produced his own records. That was the thing that resonated to me, the fact that he produced his own music. Mm-hmm. And that's what I said, well, I'm going to produce my own stuff. Plus, as far as producers are concerned, I was into the Wall of Sound and, the guy who created that.
Phil Spector.
Yeah, Phil Spector. And, basically all the British, when the British wave hit, that was, like I said, I liked the music instead of being so regimentary like a blues, this bar, that bar, or jazz or whatever, following a different thing. Mm-hmm. When the British came out with their music, it was like sort of you could do different things. You could explore, in the soundscape of what you were playing. And that kind of influenced me then, too. So I was into all them guys.
Nice. This podcast is going to feature two of your tracks, Beantown and Hangin' Bangin'. What's the story behind those songs?
All right, Beantown, right? I was like, about a year ago. I was like just sitting around and making beats or trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I came across the idea that, I wanted to get something to sound like the Dropkick Murphys. So in order to do that, you had to get into some of the, I forget what it was that I had going on, the bagpipes and the violin that sounded like, that kind of a, polka type thing or whatever it was that I sounding up. So when I made the song and I started putting the, adding the guitars and other things to it, I kind of said, you know what, I want to name this and I want to do something. I said, well, let me just write something about Boston and just call it Beantown. So with that, it's just tells you, that we came from the sea and we dropped the T, and we're an hour from the Mayflower. That's the hook. And it just tells you about different neighborhoods in Boston, which people from Boston would probably understand a lot better what I'm saying in the song than people just listening to it, where they'll be trying to figure out what's going on until they finally get it.
Right.
The more you hear it, I guess the more you get out of it. And Hang and Bang Love, that was sort of gonna be like an slow R&B type song. And what I did with that is I was just telling the story about, when you're with somebody, your significant other, if they're gonna be the one that's gonna be with you going through all your adventures, or they're just gonna be somebody that, is gonna be there for a minute. So that's how I got the idea of Hang and Bang Love, and I just wanted to make the vocals I wanted to get them to sound like they were like the Delphonics or some old R&B singing group. So that's what I went for with that, just to get the vocals and the music to be kind of period. But of course, it's 2022 now.
Right. Very cool.
Like I said, I don't like being put in a little category and just stick mainly to that. When I put out the whole album, you'll see that there's various different songs that, relate to different things. And they have, I have one song, Government Cheese. I was watching Cadillac Records and I said, you know what, I want to make a song that sounds like that in that period. And what I did was I got together with a harp guy that I grew up with, and he'd been playing harp ever since we were trying to play funk when we were young, and it never fit. I'm like, now get out of here, you know what I mean? We don't want you playing. But he went on to have a very good career playing blues harp and stuff like that. So I got him in the studio to do the song with me, and I tried my best to get the best performance I could get out of this guy, and he killed it. His name is Elliot Johnson.
Nice.
And he killed it. And I could never, ever get him to do it again. I mean, we've done a couple of live shows, and it never sounds like the recording. So I guess what I had to get out of him that time, I got out.
Wow. That's pretty
Sounded
cool.
pretty good, yeah.
Now, you talking about these songs, I gather you're working on some new material. If you are, when can we expect it?
Well, the album, I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible, hopefully before Thanksgiving. And that's From Sticks to the Bricks. And that's got 10 songs on it. But I have another album that is a follow-up of, you hear some of the songs that are on this one. These songs are like the continuation from that theme.
Okay.
So that I'm going to do. I also have an album I'm putting out that's gonna be and sound like it's a funkadelic album.
Okay.
But it's my music doing it in a funkadelic sort of way. I want to tribute to them. And I have an album that's already been out. Like I said, I had albums I just never released. I got one that I have. It's called The Legacy of Rap, Funk, and Roll. Wow. And it's all songs that we did for the album from the early 80s up through, the 90s.
Wow.
Like a Michael Jackson type of song. We have an 80s Hendrix song that was designed to be like a Hendrix song in the 80s. Actually, what happened is I went to they had this thing, a guitar thing for Hendrix, so see who can, copy him or sound good to him. Well, in Boston, I couldn't get in to play. Mm-hmm. But I went there, and I went there dressed up, you know what I mean? And when I walked in there, everybody's mouth dropped because I looked like Hendrix. They were all like, holy shit.
Wow.
And I had my guitar with me and stuff. Mm-hmm. So what ended up happening is I got to sit down at the table with, his father. I met the father. The sister wasn't having it at all. The sister was like something else. But me and the father was having a good conversation. I was sitting at the table with them, and everybody was coming up to the table and stuff, and they wanted my autograph and stuff and wanted to know if I was going to be playing and everything.
Cool.
So the sister didn't like that too much. So I spent some time with the father. That was a good thing for me able to do that. Because I always had a sense that, Hendrix's spirit had touched me some kind of a way. So that was great for that to happen.
So when's the next album coming out? Do you have a release date for it?
Well, this album, the Sticks to the Bricks, is coming out, like I said, hopefully before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And the other album, all depends on how that goes. I don't want to oversaturate too much with my stuff, you know what I mean? Unless I would do the old school one, the legacy of rap, funk, and roll, then I would be able to do that a lot sooner. But I'm going to try and see how much mileage I can get out of Sticks to the Bricks first, and hopefully they remember it by the time I put the new one out.
Now, do you have any shows lined up in your area to play?
No, not at the moment. It's kind of hard for me to meet people to play with out here, you know what I mean? Because things were shut down for so long and everything, so that's a slow process. But my bass player, because basically most of the people that started this thing out with me have passed away, unfortunately. My bass player that I played with since we were teenagers, he passed away a couple of years ago. I had a drummer, he passed away a while back. And so all the original people, most of them have passed, except for Chip Allen. He's still around. He was like kind of not doing too good for a while there. Decided not to play anymore. So I have a bass player that's from my neighborhood. He's a younger guy, and he's really excellent. If you ever see any of my shows, you'll probably see him up there playing in them.
What's his name?
But I'm going to base it around him and me and go from there and get a drummer and a couple of keyboard players and get back at it.
Wow. What's the bass player's name?
His name is Ish Honor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He's from the neighborhood. I was looking for a band before I, started doing these shows in the last couple of years that I got booked in to do. Mm-hmm. And I seen him and carrying a bass. I said, hey, come on down. I'm going to audition some people. And he came down and auditioned. I liked what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And we started going to this open mic, involved in an open mic place. And we did a couple of things at open mic to get used to each other. And we've been doing stuff like that ever since.
Very cool.
He's on the album, so.
Nice. Now,
you'll be able to hear him.
Besides playing music, you also were a radio DJ on WMWM. What was that experience like?
Well, when we were playing in the band way back in the day, and then when disco came, people weren't so much into seeing people playing disco music live, which we were doing. Mm-hmm. They'd much rather see the act. That's when it changed. When it changed to people really want to see the act. Because prior to that, we played cover songs. People thought we were the ones that made the record. Because they never got to see people. You know what I mean? They never came to your town.
Right.
But what ended up happening was we used our PA and hooked up a couple of turntables to it back then so we could keep making money instead of hiring the band, they hired us as DJ. So I've been DJing for a while and mixing stuff and all kinds of things like that, because I was into recording ever since I was a little kid.
Cool.
I used to record radio shows off the radio for the music, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty proficient in that. So once the DJ thing came along, I was into it for a while till we started playing again. But when I entered college, I had went to Northeast Broadcasting, the broadcasting school. You had to learn everything. Mm-hmm. And when I went to college for SFL, Sport, Fitness, and Leisure, I ended up getting a gig at the radio station, and I had a show for 3 years.
Nice.
There from 9 to 12 for 3 straight years.
Very cool.
Pretty popular, but you'd only hear it up in the area where it was at.
Right.
It wasn't like a smash show, but
what was the format?
yeah. Huh?
What was the format on the station?
Well, you could do whatever you wanted, and it was Saturday afternoon, so what I used to do is play dance music, funk, mix it up with some Thomas Dolby, stuff like that. Then I would do live things. I would record and do a live set in there with the, mixing it and doing the DJ stuff. I'd have guests come in. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty cool. I did plus it was an avenue for us to play our own music.
Right.
The stuff that wasn't really released, we still had it, and I could play it. So
nice.
we
Now,
played some of our own stuff.
You ever think about doing a radio show now?
I mean, I would love to have a radio show. If someone knew that I had the talent. I mean, just they're hearing my voice. They're like, Jesus, that voice. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, well, I've been doing it for a while. So, and plus going to school, gave me the tools. I graduated with freaking on the dean's list. So
Hey,
I must have knew what I was gonna. Yeah, I must have knew what I was doing.
should make a couple of air checks and send those out. Maybe someone will pick you up for a show or two or something like that. You never know.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get discovered all my life. I think I discovered myself. It's up to them to find out what's going on, man. Because even when I do records or do a song, no one can believe I'm the one singing on the records, because every record basically sounds different. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't sound like the same guy. You'll probably hear it on the album.
Right. Well, you could also do a podcast and post that up online as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, if I had the knowledge to be able to do that, had someone willing to set that up, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, there's got to be someone.
Instead of doing what I'm doing right now, I'd be at home doing that.
Well, there may, there's got to be somebody that that knows how to set up the computer at your house to do a podcast. I mean, basically all you need is
not here, I don't. Plus, if I was back in Boston, they wouldn't try to do anything to help me. Wow. They're so busy. They think it's a race all the time. They got to get there first.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like, I've been doing this all my life. You know what I mean? You can't. Ain't nobody out there alive beat me yet.
Wow, that's a shame.
But I also do stand-up comedy, so.
Oh, really? Can you talk about that a little bit? What's your show like?
Well, back in the 80s, I used to go do open mic in the clubs in Boston.
Okay.
And there was one club where, trying to think of his name. Damn, I don't even know how. I can't think of his name. Lenny, what's Lenny's last name? Oh my God, he's a big time. He had movies and everything. Anyways, they would see me doing open mic, and they were like, headliners, whatever people do at the shows. Mm-hmm. So one time they had a big show in there at the club, and it was Sheila E. And I didn't have tickets, but I knew that if you went in the room where we do the comedy, you could go to the bathroom and then get to the club, from there. Mm-hmm. And Lenny seen me there, and he's like, oh, no, he's okay. I know him, and got me. I was so happy that I could get to see Sheila E. that night. But
wow.
After I did that for a while, I used to call myself Rock Kadam. That's Mad Doctor spelled backwards.
Oh, okay.
And I would come out. This is like around the era of the Iranian crisis and stuff. Mm-hmm. I come out with a turban wrapped around my head, and I had like a robe on with no shoes. And I'd come out there and, rip jokes off and stuff like that. Some people
Nice.
are like, they didn't know what to think of it, but I had them laughing their asses off anyways. So then I got kind of sick of it because they were like kind of getting tired of the routine of seeing me in that outfit. I guess because the animosity towards what was going on with the Iranians made it worse. So I made this set. I came out with a cardboard box, and I had like a wig head in it, and I had the turban wrapped around. I had like the clothes hanger, so I could pull the thing out of the box, and it looked like me, my character. Well, I came out with the suit and tie and looked like a pimp. You know what I mean? So I came out there saying, yeah, my mom was a hoe, my daddy was a pimp, blah, 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 this guy here. And I shot the puppet on stage on this thing and killed that character and started doing that. People were like, what the hell is going on? I like the shock value. But years later, there's a guy named Larry Lee Lewis.
Okay.
He was he's very popular. What he did was he'd come out and play Boogie Woogie and Larry Lee, the other Larry Lee there, his stuff, play rockabilly and stuff like that, and then tell jokes in between.
Okay.
Well, he had a show called Chops Lounge, Larry Lee Lewis show at Chops Lounge. It was like right behind Fenway Park. And whenever I went there and said jokes, I said, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the bowels of Fenway Park.
Nice.
This guy's crazy. But I did that for a couple of years, so yeah, I've been doing that for a while. I'm trying to wait so I can get something going on out here. But like I said, things are kind of slow. Just opening up, people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Do they have comedy clubs in New Mexico?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do an open mic one night.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been trying to do, but I can't find one at the, you know what I mean? I had somebody that was doing them every Tuesday every first Tuesday of the month, and that stopped happening. So now I got to try and find another way to get into it. It's going to be kind of hard because, like I said, people are just getting into it. They're not going to just allow someone, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to go there, hang out for them. I can do it, though, but right now I'm too busy trying to finish this album off.
Now, do you have a website you'd like to promote?
I would like to make up a website, and that's what I'm in the process of trying to do.
Okay, so
make up a website for the original Black Sheep of the Family.
Now, if people want to get in touch with you as far as like your music career and everything like that, you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and I have my email, of course. That's how I got this. Joe got me this. I got in touch with me because of this. See, I've known Joe since for a while. I mean, when he was out doing his Count Viglione thing.
Okay.
That was like in the 70s, late 70s. That's when I was doing a Black Sheep of the Family, and I ended up having one of his friends, who was also a friend of the bass player that I had back then, Lord Manuel. He was an excellent keyboard player. This kid used to design and build his own synthesizers, for they were very popular.
Wow.
I met him through him, and we done a couple shows and things. But when I started doing punk rock records, which is ironic, but I did punk rock records, and I met Larry Lassard, and that's who we both know from making records. Larry Lassard is fucking excellent engineer. He's great.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And and I happened to run into him when I went back to Boston this summer, and that's how I got to complete the album, because I did it with him. I was very happy with that.
Very cool. Now,
lucky.
Are you affiliated with Joe's label?
With Joe's what?
Label?
No, we've had our own label since the beginning of time. Just like Joe had his own label, we had our own label. His was Verolvin. And mine started out as Frolic and Flock Rock Records, because, like I said, I wanted to combine all the music together. So I was like a flock type thing. Flock Rock. Then we went to Frolic. Then when I came out with the the punk rock records, that was Ransom Records. So since I had a lot of my nieces and nephews and kids all into rap and stuff, I started doing rap stuff and recording them. And that was back in the early 90s. So that's when we changed it to Rap, Funk, and Roll, and we made Ransom Records the label for it. So there's plenty of stuff. I got plenty of stuff with them. You know what I mean? Their own individual projects and things. When they were younger, my niece, nephews, and my 2 daughters had a group called The Crew. And they're actually singing the background of the new songs, you know, that are on the album now. But they had their own stuff. These kids were like the Jackson 5, but in the hip-hop era.
Wow.
They were excellent. I got like a double album of theirs. They won't let me do nothing with it.
Wow.
They're like, so, that was when we were young. I said, yeah, that was when you were young, but this shit is still great.
Wow.
I said, you got to let people hear this. And then not too long ago, they came out with a couple of songs, just went in the studio and did it. These songs were so, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? But, you know, you got to have it in you, I guess.
Yeah. Now, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
I don't know. What is it that we missed? You miss anything?
I don't think so.
You asked me about if I played with other people stuff. Yeah, I played with a lot of people, but I've also met a lot of people too that, you know, I would have never ran into in the circumstances that I did.
Right.
I went to a concert to see, because he was one of my idols also, Dizzy Gillespie. Because Charlie Parker, I was like wicked into him. I met him and we talked and everything, and he listened to some of my music and I explained to him what I was trying to do, and he told me, he listened, he said, yeah, you know what, this isn't bad. He said, well, what you got to do is you got to keep doing it. He said, you can't, you know, give up. You keep doing this because this is what you're doing, and that's how you're going to develop what you want going on. So it was like kind of encouraging to hear that from him because he's a friggin' musical master.
Right.
And that went well. I had breakfast the next day. I wish I had been able to grab him and get him in the studio.
Right.
But I wasn't ready back there.
Yeah.
I had too much stuff going on.
I don't think
But
so.
that's it. I'm out here, closer to LA, closer to Vegas. LA ain't much popping off yet, but when it does, I'll probably be heading out there. Hopefully the album takes off a little bit. I'll get some traction. What my real thing is, I'd like to get a residency in Vegas and call it the Legacy of Funk, and then have the band play all the music for the funk artists and funk songs and the hit songs and everything. And the people that dress up and look like the people, we back them up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'd like to get. Then you have an opportunity to do my stuff too in between. But that's what I'd like to do.
Maybe in the coming year, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, things are opening up a little bit if I can get some kind of interest or something. Because if nothing's popping, once things start getting a little bit better overseas, I'm going over to Europe. The people that have my records and heard my records over there never had a chance to hear or see me. I'd like to get some venues out there and do some shows out there.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be real good, actually. A lot of artists in the U.S. Do well in other countries.
Well, I'm sure that there's plenty of people that I only had that one record. And after that, after all them years, when it resurfaced again, I got a lot of good feedback and read a lot of people's opinions and things about it. So they must have been kind of up on it to be able to answer back so fast. That's what I'm hoping happens when I put this album out. That people recognize that it's the same. And Joe's doing a pretty good job trying to connect it like that. So
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
yeah, I want to put out some vinyl and try and get the collectors to buy it up. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That'll work. Now, when this album comes out, where will it be available?
Well, I'm going to go to CD Baby and get them to pump it through all the all the sites and everything. Mm-hmm. Hope that catches on, and then eventually I'm going to get the physical album, and then, like you said, I'll have like a website or something where I can sell them to the collectors.
Yeah, you should get a Bandcamp page.
Mm-hmm.
You could sell digital copies too, where you don't need physical.
Right.
You know
well, that's what I'm saying. If it's digitally done through CD Baby, through all the things, it catches.
Right.
That's good for that. But still, I want to I'm going to get some physical CDs that if I play shows or something, I
can sell
them there. Yeah, but I want to get the vinyl album and put that out. Once I get that, then I can try to compete with my own past sales by trying to sell something new, see if it takes.
That's a plan.
It's still the same music and it's still me. So
yeah, that's a good plan. Well, Billy, I want to thank you so much for calling in today. I really enjoyed the stories, and I want to wish you the best of luck with this album, and I can't wait to hear it when it comes out.
All right, thank you. I want to make sure that Joe sends you some stuff so you can hear it.
All right, bro.
And I hope you enjoy what you got right now.
I'm looking forward to it, my brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, you take care.
Have a good day. All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been a long time. A couple trips, had my heart set on the long grind. You went and dubbed me, now I'm chilling on the boat, drinking liquor, backstroking to another fucking coast. You wanted everything and left me with a lot to learn. Let it burn, smoked a couple for the money that I earned, but I stayed up. Yeah, I know I had to stay up. Everywhere I go, you know I had to go and lay up. Cause I know I take a lot of naps, but I know I'm in the vision. Yeah, I know I'm sitting back. Cause you know the motherfuckers in the front trying to do all the shit, make reactions, and I ain't about that, I'm about action. Late nights of writing poetry, flowetry, all that energy really encompassed me. Just enjoying all the moments I got left. Found a couple steps, put in the work and got a couple checks. Relax with the one I really truly love. Make her wanna see the world as we're flying above.
I know you love me, baby.
Yeah.
I've been thinking lately about something.
Loving, yes, this treatment hasn't been the best.
I would trust you, baby. Nothing that can take me. I've been
hurting us, holding us. I don't want nobody,
I want you.
I'm just tryna vibe, no, I ain't tryna fight with you. I want them foreign vibes, I'm tryna take a flight with you. Moving different, got me ballin' like a mic with you. Got me loving you, I know that's what this paper do. Girl, if you love me right, then I won't have to play with you.
Hang me, baby.
You got a grip, you're just gonna slip. You keep rolling all the way till we drip, drip, drop to the top. Making them dreams come true, that's what we wanna do. All these things we envision, we wanna make happen, and I want to get I wanna let I wanna make all the dreams come true for you. Yeah.
I'm just tryna vibe, no, I ain't tryna fight with you. I want them foreign vibes, I'm tryna take a flight with you.
Gonna get a grip, we're never gonna slide. Keep on riding.
Hang, baby.
I like B and C. You know who that is. We're like B and C. You know who that is. Yeah. Gonna rip, never gonna slip. We're gonna keep on dip,
fight, no, I ain't tryna fight with you. I want them foreign vibes, I'm tryna take a flight with you.
Never gonna grip, gonna never slip. You lick your lips, oh, move your hips. You got it going on, girl. You lick your lips, the way you move your hips, then you get a grip. Oh, you never, I never let you go, baby.